Welcome to another episode of Comic Characters 101. Today we are looking at Hawkman from DC Comics, created by Gardner Fox with Dennis Neville and Joe Kubert. Hawkman first appeared in Flash Comics #1 back in 1940, and even though he is a highly recognizable character that has been around for nearly 80 years, it's safe to say that most people in mainstream don't know anything about him. If you ask anyone, they might be able to tell you he is the one with wings and can fly, but that's about it. Part of the reason Hawkman never achieved the recognition of Superman or Batman is that his history can be confusing. The origin of the Golden Age and Silver Age Hawkman were very different from one another, but unlike Green Lantern, the Atom, and the Flash, his identity and his appearance didn't change all that much. Then, when you take all the changes made to the character through Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Hawkworld storyline, Zero Hour, and the company-wide reboot known as the New 52, the character became even more confusing. So much, in fact, that even true Hawkman fans can get confused by his past. In his first appearance in 1940, the Golden Age Hawkman's alias was Carter Hall. Hall was an archaeologist and weapons collector who discovered a dagger with a crystal blade. The dagger caused him to fall into an unconscious state before revealing to him that he was the reincarnation of the ancient Egyptian prince Khufu. The dagger itself was used by Hathset to kill Prince Khufu in the past. Hathset had also been reincarnated as the evil Dr. Anton Hastur. Hall met Shira Sanders, who also turned out to be the reincarnation of Khufu's soulmate, Shiara. Eventually, Hall donned the garbs of the Egyptian hot god Anubis and crafted himself artificial wings to stop Dr. Hastur. Hawkman was able to fly using anti-gravity belt made of the fictional element known as the Ninth Metal. After the battle, Shira Sanders became Hawkgirl, and the two continued to fight crime as partners. Later, he also became chairman of the Justice Society of America. By 1957, the space race had begun, and stories set in outer space were all the rage. This caused major changes in comics, which sparked the beginning of the Silver Age of comics. Under the orders of Julius Schwartz, Hawkman was reintroduced to the world in The Brave and the Bold #34 in 1961. Even though he looked pretty much the same, his origin was drastically different. Now he was Qatar Hall, and his wife Shiara were from the planet Thanagar. They were aliens and members of the winged police force called the Wingmen. Ninth Metal was now called Nth Metal, and he and his wife Shiara came to Earth in pursuit of a shape-shifting villain named Bythe. After capturing him, they decided to stay on Earth to study its law enforcement tactics. They adopted the names of Carter and Shiara Hall. Besides being a member of the Thanagarian police force, Hawkman also joined the Justice League. Later in the Bronze Age of comics is when things started to get really confusing. Crisis on Infinite Earths revealed that both versions of Hawkman existed in the DC timeline. The Golden Age Hawkman was from the past, and the Silver Age was, at the time, the current one. But Hawkman was rebooted in the miniseries Hawkworld in 1989. This story created many continuity errors, which were only worsened by the 1994 series Zero Hour. Zero Hour saw the Silver Age and Golden Age versions combined into one character, the Hawk God. DC knew things were getting confusing and stopped publishing Hawkman stories until the late 90s. Then they decided to streamline the character and make everything less confusing. Now everything about the Golden Age Hawkman was the same, except Prince Khufu discovered Nth Metal on a crashed Thanagarian vessel in ancient Egypt. This enabled DC to have both versions still exist and be connected. However, this failed to untangle the confusion in the long term, especially when the New 52 rebooted everything in the DC universe. The most recent Hawkman series, written by Robert Venditti and drawn by Brian Hitch, rebooted the character once again in 2018. Venditti was able to clear all the confusion in a single 2-page layout. It revealed that all versions of Hawkman existed. Now he wasn't just reincarnated on Earth, he was reincarnated repeatedly throughout time and space, meaning Qatar Hall was really the original Carter Hall from a previous life. It was such a simple but eloquent answer to a decades-old problem. When Carter Hall isn't fighting crime with the Justice League, he runs the Midway City Museum, where he keeps many artifacts from his past lives. Besides flight, Nth Metal heals Hawkman at a rapid pace, the level of which is still unknown. Hawkman is a great hand-to-hand combatant and is known to be quite brutal at times. It's also been said that Wonder Woman or Batman are the most skilled fighters in the DC universe. But now that Hawkman can regain memories of past lives, it needs to be taken into consideration that he has learned to fight with each new life. It could be argued he is a better fighter than both of them simply based on his level of experience over eons. Besides his relationship with his soulmate Hawkgirl, Hawkman has many other notable relationships. He has always been good friends with the Atom and has worked well side by side many times with Adam Strange. On the other hand, Hawkman and Green Arrow are known to be bitter rivals that just can't seem to get along with one another.
The winged warrior here threw me through a window.
I hope I didn't make you cry.
Drop the mace, Conan.
I will. On your head.
Bring it, Big Bird. Just for the record, you started it.
I'll finish it.
Hawkman, no!
Hawkman has faced many enemies over the years. Some of those include Manhawks, the Monocle, Hathset, Bythe, Gentleman Ghost, and of course, Shadow Thief. Hawkman has appeared in many animated series, including the Superman Aquaman Hour, most incarnations of the Hanna-Barbera Super Friends and Super Power shows, Justice League Unlimited, The Batman, Batman Brave and the Bold, DC Super Friends, Young Justice, Justice League Action, and The Short Sword of the Atom. He has appeared in many DC animated films, such as Public Enemies, The Death of Superman, The Reign of Superman, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and even a couple of Lego movies. In live action, Hawkman appeared in the 1979 film Legends of the Superheroes. In the two-part episode of Smallville called Absolute Justice, written by Jeff Johns, and in the Arrow universe in The Flash, Arrow, and DC Legends of Tomorrow. Now there are even rumors that he will be appearing in the Rock-led Black Adam film, as well as getting his own feature film. If you would like to learn more, here is my suggested reading list. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for future content.